Come on in, everyone. Come on in because we are here for Ready to Love, Make a Move. And this was episode 12, y'all. I guess this was a combination. It's a combination of the last episode and also part of the reunion. It's kind of weird, huh? It's kind of weird. But I'm going to see how I'm going to work it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do my review for the regular episode. And then I'm going to tag on at the end my part about the reunion. I don't think I'm going to mix it together because it's kind of different. So if y'all got a lot of time to sit with me today, you can listen through the whole thing. If you got to listen to me in parts, I'm going to do the part right now about the regular episode. Then maybe what I'll do is I'll put down in the comments where the part about the reunion starts. That way, if you want to go to that part, you can listen to that part. But y'all know I'm happy. Y'all know I'm happy. Y'all know why I'm happy. I'm happy because Shareese chose Maurice. That's exactly how I felt when she chose Maurice. Because y'all know I've been rooting for Maurice all season long. But you know what? If you'd all look at my thumbnail, you'll see my thumbnail says two things. One is, did they settle? And the second one is, who's the biggest liar? Who's the biggest liar is gonna have to go with the reunion part. But the part about did they settle? Y'all know that's my trick question because I don't really believe in this settling thing that these women are talking about on the show. They keep talking about they don't want to settle. They don't want to settle. Everybody settles. You know what? I think women are really keeping themselves in a trick bag out here using phrases like I don't want to settle, because what it sounds like when you hear someone say I don't want to settle, it sounds like they're saying they don't want to compromise, and everybody compromises. Everyone settles. My girlfriend just called me yesterday talking about she finally settled her lawsuit. She was suing her job. They've been in a lawsuit for 2 years. And you know what she did? She said, we settled. And she's ecstatic. She's happy as can be. She's happy as can be. Did she get everything she wanted? No. But she got enough that she's happy. She got enough that she's very happy. And that's why I keep saying I don't know why people are out here talking about the word settle as if it's not still a good thing. Shoot, my niece just bought a new car. She said she was in there negotiating with the car dealer for over 2 hours. They finally, guess what? They finally settled on the price. They finally settled on the price, and she's ecstatic. She over here sending me all kind of pictures of her with her brand new car. Everyone settles, and it doesn't mean that you can't be happy. All these ladies in the beginning toasting to each other, talking about we're not going to settle. We're going to get everything we want. No, you're not. You're not going to get everything you want. And by people telling themselves this, it really actually keeps them away from finding things that make them happy. Even in this episode, we're going to get to it. Shareese tells Vernisha that, or Shareese says that she thinks Zadia settled. Well, Shareese settled. She settled too. As much as I think that Maurice is the man for her. Remember, Shareese came in here talking about she didn't want no divorced man and she didn't want no man with children. And Maurice had 4 children and he was divorced. And he's 50-something years old. She didn't even want that in the beginning. But guess what? Here she now is choosing him. That means she settled. But doesn't mean that she's not happy. No, it means she changed her mind. That's why you shouldn't say I'm not willing to settle. I'm not willing to take something that I don't want right now. That's not true. When you go into a car dealer, you may say, I only want to pay $50,000, but you may end up paying $53,000. Does it mean that you're not happy? No, it doesn't mean that. It means that you're willing to be open to something else that may make you happier than you can fathom in your brain right now. Everybody out here talking about that they're God's children and they know how to pray. Well, sometimes God brings you things you couldn't even make up in your mind. Sometimes God presents in front of you something that you couldn't even dream up in your mind, which means you settle for what God wanted you to have, not what you originally wanted. People need to get away from 2 things in 2024. Talk about New Year's resolutions. Let's get away from 2 things. Let's get away from using the word settling as if it's negative. And on that whole thing with Simone Biles and her husband, let's stop fighting over the word who's the catch. Because back in my day, women would say, girl, I'm going to go out and get me a whole good old outfit, a real nice outfit, because I'm going to go out here and catch me a man. That's what they said. That's what women said. It didn't mean we thought less of ourselves. It didn't mean that we thought we weren't a good catch. All it said was, I'm going to go out here, put this outfit on, get myself looking real good, because tonight I'm going to catch me a man. That's what we said. Now, all of a sudden, if we say, yeah, I caught me a man, and now that makes us look, we pygmalious, we looking bad on ourselves. I really want women. I know a lot of you sometimes say I can give decent dating advice. I want women to unchain themselves in 2024 from these words that are being used in social media that are keeping you bound up in bad habits, and it's actually keeping you away from being happy. You're so busy trying not to get talked about by other women in the street that you are missing your own journey, your own blessing, your own whatever. So anyway, I don't know. I done gone out of tangent already in the first beginning of this recap review. But let's get going on the actual episode. But I'm going to go in the order of they actually showed it on the episode. And that means we're going to start with Shareese. We're going to start with Shareese. And like I said, I'm happy, y'all. I'm so happy. So here come Maurice. He come up in here suited and booted. He said, you know what? He's feeling optimistic. He's feeling lucky. He's calm as a cucumber. And like I've been saying all episode and season long, this is exactly what Shareese needs. Shareese needs a calm man. She needs a man that is not going to match her feistiness. She needs a calm man, and that's what Maurice brings to the table. So he's talking about, you know, he's feeling confident, but he's unsure. He don't know for real. Shareese finally admits that Maurice brings out the soft Shareese. She's been using this phrase a lot. She's been using the phrase a lot this episode, the soft Shareese. Shareese says she hiding in there somewhere. She buried in the closet behind all them shoes and all them clothes and all the makeup and all the hair. Shareese said the soft Shareese is buried in there, and the person that's bringing it out in her is Maurice. And you know why Maurice is bringing it out in her? Because the softness in Maurice, the calmness in Maurice doesn't challenge the feistiness of Shareese. Maybe this is a tip for a lot of women who are feisty out here. Maybe the tip for a lot of women is maybe you don't need a man who's exactly like you. Maybe you don't need what we're going to get to, what old girl Ashley is saying, I need someone to match my energy. Maybe you don't. Maybe when you got so much energy, you got so much feistiness, you got so much fight in you, maybe your New Year's resolution when it comes to dating should be, I'm going to go and catch me a man. Yeah, I'm going to say the word catch. I'm going to go out and catch me a man that balances me out. Not a man that amps me up, not a man that riles me up. Maybe I'm going to find a man where we each other's yin and yang, where he can calm me down and there can be peace in the house, as opposed to everybody always being on level 10 and everybody going from 0 to 100. Maybe the resolution for 2024 for some people shouldn't be, I'm going to go out and find somebody just like me. Maybe the resolution should be, I'm going to go out and find someone who can compliment me in areas in which I'm weak in. Because the area of anger management, the area of being able to control her temper, that's a weakness in Shareese. The area of being able to control your mouth, that's a weakness in Shareese. Why would she want a man who likes to talk a lot and fly off at the mouth? So I'm finally happy she saw the fact that she don't need a man that's exactly like her. She needs a man that's going to compliment her in the areas in which she's weak in. She started talking about she full speed over there in Miami and she's going to require a lot of attention. Another thing, 2024, stop needing so much damn attention. Why are all these women on here talking about how much attention they need? You talk about you an entrepreneur, you got a vibrant social life, but you talking about you need a lot of attention? Why? I don't understand why everyone's walking around talking about how much attention they need. Are you babies? Do you need to be breastfed every 3 hours? Women, get a life in which you enjoy. Don't get a life where now you need so much attention and you need it all from your man. Once again, here we are limiting the type of person we can be with, because now what we want is every free moment that we have, we want that man to feel that free moment. Every free moment we have in our life, we want the man calling us, checking on us, filling up that free moment. Good Lord, get some balance in our lives. Women, get some balance in your life. Have enough time for your man. Have enough time. Have enough time for yourself. Some me time. But also have some time with you and your girls. What is this thing about I need a whole lot of attention? Why? Why do you need so much attention? Shareese talking about I'm going to need a man who's going to ask me a lot of questions. No. Start talking. Once again, looking for a man to do what you're not good at. Have some conversation. It don't always have to be an interview, Shareese. He don't need to come with the conversation all the time. You can come up with some conversation. You can start talking. It's a laziness that's going on out here. It's a laziness that's going on in dating. We don't want to do no work. We don't want to work for nothing. We want the person to be exactly like us because we don't want to change. We want them to do everything. And all we want to sit back and say was, if you can't do everything for me, then I don't want to settle. But one thing I was happy about Shareese did admit that she was scared for the long distance. At least she finally admitted her fear. She finally admitted the part that she said is, I'm scared of the long distance. And I like the way Maurice handled her. He said, well, you can't judge me off the past. You can't judge. All you can judge me off is what I do and what I've been doing. And the truth of the matter is, Maurice has showed up for her. Every single time Maurice has showed up to her. So when she says, I'm afraid of choosing you because in the past, men have let me down, well, he hasn't let you down yet. A lot of people get ahead of things. They act like, well, I'm going to use my discernment. I'm like, well, first of all, Maurice hasn't shown you nothing to be scared of. So at this point in time, if she didn't choose him, she would not be not choosing him based on what he did or didn't do. She would be running away scared because of what someone else did to her. And I'm so glad that Maurice in his grown self told her, you can't judge me off what other men did to you. All you can do is judge me off what I did. This is why a lot of men don't even want to date older women, because what ends up happening is women, as they go through life and have bad experiences, they have the new people pay for those mistakes. Pay for those mistakes. And what women need to get better at is learning how to make you make better decisions. And when you make better decisions, it's because you're looking more carefully. It means when you see the red flag, you run, you don't stay. Maurice hasn't shown Shareese any red flags. There's no reason for her not to move forward. See, probably what women did in the past was they saw the red flags, but they didn't leave. So now when Shareese gets a Maurice, she's like, oh, maybe I should run. Why? You haven't seen no red flags yet. You haven't seen a red flag where he hasn't shown up for you. Now, of course, it may come, it may happen, but you don't need to preempt it. You don't need to get ahead of the curveball. If it happens, it happens. But what you have to concentrate on, Shareese, is just reacting off the red flags. And you have not been given a red flag that this man is not going to show up for you. There's no reason for you to do anything. Sure, you may want to proceed with caution. Sure, you want to keep your eyes open. You want to keep your antennas open. But it doesn't mean that you circumvent the situation or the process. That's two different things. Having your antennas up, having your eyes wide open, listening well is two different things from stopping the process. So I'm glad that Shareese, even though she was scared, I'm glad she went forward and she said yes to Maurice. Maurice is comfortable with her. He got his hand all over her leg. He touching her. And we know that Shareese don't like no man touching her. So she obviously feels comfortable with him. And she's like, yeah, you don't have to come to Miami and start exploring Miami. And Maurice is like, we're gonna set Miami on fire. I heard that, Maurice. Maurice said, we're gonna set Miami on fire. He said he ready. Let's go ahead. We can be, it's not bi-coastal. What is it when you in New Orleans and Miami? It ain't bi-coastal. It's just, well, we're going to be in two different cities. And we in two party cities. New Orleans is a party city and Miami is a party city. And something tells me that Maurice likes to be out on the town too. Something about Maurice tells me He's ready to get out and be in the town. And I think being with Shareese is going to give him some exciting parts of his life too. And I think he's going to enjoy hanging out in Miami. I do. Maurice says the best days are ahead of them for he and Shareese. And Shareese said that Maurice is bringing out the lovable side of her. She's saying that she is lovable because I'm sure a lot of people have told her in the past, not only is she not lovable, they don't even like her. They don't even like her. So I'm glad that Shareese is seeing this part of her. And we're going to get to the part later on in the reunion where she starts faking it in the beginning. But like I said, fake it until you make it, Shareese. Fake it until you make it. And right now, yes, keep walking in that soft Shareese. Keep believing that you are lovable. Keep telling it to yourself. And ultimately, in the end, you will start acting that way much, much more. Believe that you are lovable. Believe that you are soft. Tell yourself that. And then what will happen is when you're out in the world, you'll start acting that way too. Say the words, because you may not be all the way there yet, but say the words, and eventually the behavior will come as well. But we're going to move on to Vernisha because that was who they showed next. It was Vernisha, y'all. And Vernisha trying to punk me. Vernisha trying to punk us. You guys know the whole season long I've been telling Vernisha she needs to get some nipple covers. Well, Vernisha got some nipple covers, but her whole dress was a nipple cover. Vernisha's whole dress was a pasty. So before I was telling Vernisha, please, can you cover up your nipples with some nipple covers? You know what Vernisha went out and did? She went out and covered up her nipples, but then left the whole rest of her breast hanging out. What's wrong with Vernisha? I know y'all are just like me. I know y'all are sitting and scratching your head and saying to yourself, how did we get Vernisha so wrong in the beginning? You talk about, when I was talking about fall from grace, we talk about where we started, who our front runners were in the beginning. A lot of people had Ashley as their front runner. They had Vernisha as their front runner. And they had Shareese last. And now here we are, Shareese ending up in first place. And I'm telling you, Vernisha she right there neck and neck with Ashley for last in my book. She neck and neck being last place. And I'm telling you, the way that Vernisha dresses, and I went in on it in my last video and I told you, this is about being seen. This is not about fashion, y'all. It's not all about fashion. It's about being seen. And when you look more into the conversation that she had with Tabari, when she let Tabari go, you see it even more. You absolutely see it even more. Vernisha says she's sad to see the process end. I know she is. I know Vernisha is sad because when Vernisha was in La La Land during these last 30 days, Vernisha had a lot of men seeing her. She got to wear her fashionable dresses every single day for 30 days straight. She got to show her body off for 30 days straight. And she had men giving her attention for 30 days straight. Vernisha was in La La Land for these last 30 days. Absolutely she was. And she is sad to see the moment end. She's not sad to see the moment end because she's sad that she didn't get Tabari, because she didn't want Tabari. What she's sad about is now she ain't going to get all this attention as much as she was on here. Vernisha's addicted to the attention, y'all. And seeing this process end is what Vernisha is tearing up over, because she was in La La Land with all these men giving her all this attention all day long. Vernisha said, you know, that what she liked about Tabari was he was ambitious. What did she say? He's extremely kind. But then she said, his communication. This is coming from a woman. I keep saying Vernisha don't have no communication. And finally, Tabari called her out on it. Vernisha doesn't have any communication. She talks about Tabari not having communication. And let me tell you why I say her communication is bad. Because we still don't even know what Vernisha's calling communication. What is Vernisha talking about? She hasn't even made it clear. That's how poor her communication is. Is she saying that Tabari don't call her at all? Or is she saying Tabari don't call her enough? All she keeps calling it is communication. That in of itself is poor communication. When you're using a general phrase like your communication is not good, that in itself means your communication is bad because you're not explaining yourself good enough. I would need to know, what do you call better communication? What, calling you every hour on the hour? every 4 hours, every 5 hours, in the morning, in the afternoon, every day? What is it, Vernisha? We want to know. Your communication is poor because you're not even telling us what good communication looks like for you. Vernisha shared that she likes a Tabari because, you know, he makes her want to be silly and fun because she's so serious. I thought Vernisha told us she's a fun girl. I keep telling y'all, Vernisha been lying. Vernisha been lying to herself. She's been lying to all of us, and she lies to the men she goes out with. Vernisha has played herself, built up herself as a homemaker, a woman that's fun. And come to find out, Vernisha just told us now that she's a serious person. She's a serious person, and one of the reasons why she liked Tabari is because he brings out the fun and silly side of her. And now she tells us that she's actually a serious person. But when Jabari wanted her in the house by 9 or 10 o'clock, she said, no, I like to go out and have fun and be out till midnight. No, she just likes to be out so people can look at her. I keep telling you, I don't figure it out, Vernisha. Vernisha needs to have an honest conversation. Talk about New Year's resolutions. Her New Year's resolution needs to be honesty. Honesty with herself. She even told Tabari to his face, when we here and we out on dates, you give me everything I need. You make me feel great. You know why? Because he's there in her presence, looking at her, giving her that attention. He says, but when you away, you don't give me nothing to hold on to. What? She said when he's there, she loves the way he makes her feel. But when she's gone, she don't have nothing to hold on to. What she got? Separation anxiety? She got separation anxiety? Is that what's going on with Vernisha? She said the man don't give her nothing to hold on to. Well, Vernisha, when a man is in your presence, when you're in the presence of anyone, and I'm giving to you, that would mean that when I'm away from you, that is what you hold on to. Vernisha is talking about that when I'm away from you, you don't give me nothing to hold on to. No, I gave you something to hold on to when I was with you. When I was with you and I filled you up and I gave you all that attention and I pumped you up and I told you all those things, that was to fill your cup up. So that means then when I go away and I got to take care of business and I got to go to work and I got to do these things, you should be holding on to what I said and did for you and to you when I was with you. But in Vernisha's mind, she's an empty cup. She's an empty cup. She goes, nah, when you was feeding me all that when I was with you, it was coming in and going out. I was gobbling it up. So the minute you leave away, I need a constant flow of it. I need a constant flow. What the hell, Vernisha? And Vernisha think this is Tabari's problem? Vernisha really believes this is a Tabari issue and not a her issue. And she says she's going back to Houston alone. She told me, I'm going back to Houston alone. I ain't making no move. Okay. And she said, how you feel, Tabari? He says, well, I just need a minute to process it. And he said, I just need a minute to sit here and process it. And so Vernisha gets up and she walks away. And then she says, oh, I thought he would have walked after me. She got separation anxiety already. Woo, she just turned the man down, walked away. And then she said, why didn't he chase me? Vernisha needs therapy. Vernisha needs therapy, y'all. She needs therapy. She needs clarity. She needs to see herself. She needs to watch herself. And she needs to stop blaming all the men. She needs to start taking some ownership of what's going on in her dating life because she's a big problem in her own dating life. And then when he said he needed time to think about it and walked away and he didn't walk after her, she said she was annoyed. Why are you annoyed, Vernisha? You just told the man you didn't want to be with him. He said he needed a minute to sit here. And she said, well, I'm annoyed that he don't get this. I'm annoyed. Girl, calm down, Vernisha. Vernisha's annoyed that he didn't chase after her. That's what she's annoyed with. Once again, she's annoyed with the fact that she's having to give up this attention when he's there. And then he's still not chasing her. That's what she's annoyed at. And then she still keeps using this word about communication. Communication. What is the communication you want, Vernisha? Speak. Be more in depth. Use more words. Tabari said, I didn't expect to be flat out dismissed the way she did. I think they cut a lot out the conversation. I think Vernisha really ripped into Tabari because we see a little sneak peek of it on the reunion. And in the end, when he says he needs to just sit here a while, I think Vernisha went in on him more because Vernisha has this way of talking to people that it really does sound mean. Like, I'm telling you, when you hear her talk, she even did a little bit of a Shareese on the reunion. When she talks to people, it does sound kind of mean like, and I think she did that to Tabari. I think she chastised him And then I think he felt like, dang, just because we're not going to be together doesn't mean you need to go in on me like this. And then Tabari said, you know, communication is two ways. You can't walk around with a wall up and tell me that you're going to have a wall up and I'm going to have to fight through a wall, but then you don't want to be vulnerable with me too. I'm with Tabari. I don't deal with no people with no walls. I wouldn't deal with no one with no walls, because what Tabari is saying is that's exactly what they want. They want to be able to keep their walls up. They want you to crash and claw and climb over their 10, 20-foot walls. And they want to be able to stand right where they are. And then you do all the work. And then when you don't do enough work, they want to chastise you, because that's Vernisha. How many times was Vernisha calling Tabari? How many times was Vernisha having some conversation? How many times did Vernisha do this? I don't think so, because she even says all the time, I wanted to call you, but I didn't. Vernisha wanted Tabari to climb over all her walls, to do all the work. She wanted to sit there and do nothing but wear a pretty dress, a sexy dress, and have him just look at her and tell her how pretty she was and pump her head. Next time, Tabari, what she should do is maybe she ought to record that date. Record the date, and then when you're away, maybe she can play it back to herself over and over again like a record. And after he came and walked her to the door, it was kind of nasty. He walked her to the door, or she walked him to the door. He finally went to the door. Vernisha starts crying and talking about, well, I hope my husband sees me on this show. Girl, that's the problem. That's the problem. She wants everyone to just see her. Okay, not hear her, see her. She said at the end of the show, well, it may not have worked out with Tabari, but I'm hoping that my husband sees me on this show. I'm hoping he sees me and comes and gets her. Once again, sees her. Vernisha gonna need some help later on in dating, because Vernisha is sabotaging her own dating life. Because one is, Vernisha don't even know who she is. She doesn't understand what she's presenting to the world. She doesn't understand what she's presenting to men. And she's not understanding how she's come off. Somebody needs to work with Vernisha and get her to see what's really going on, so she can get out of where she is, because she is stuck. She is absolutely stuck. And now we're going to move on to the next reveal, the next answer, whatever you want to call it. And that was with Zadia. And they show Cam walking up with that towel in his back pocket. Why does Cam wear that towel, y'all? I mean, I'm tired of the towel, and I'm tired of that big old fake diamond necklace on Cam. It said the streetcar. Is that one of his businesses or something? Maybe that's what he's advertising. Maybe it's free advertising for him. But at first I was giving Cam a break with that towel hanging out his pocket, because it was daytime and it was hot. But here we are in the nighttime. I know it still be hot in New Orleans at night, but why does he wear that towel? I don't know. I don't like it, Cam. I don't like that sweat towel that he keep wearing in the back of his pocket. And he need to get rid of that. Then we got Zadia saying, let's go back here and talk, Cam. Let's have a conversation. I didn't know what Zadia was going to say. I'm not going to lie. I didn't know if Zadia was going to say yes. I didn't know if Zadia was going to say no. I didn't know what she was going to say. But I know she got a problem with the truth. I know Zadia has a problem with the truth. And like my other part said, who's the liar? You already know who I think the liar is Zadia. Because Zadia actually has a problem with the truth. That's why she's having such a hard time with Cam. Because I know y'all think Cam is a liar. A lot of people do. But I think it's actually the opposite. I think that Cam is actually truthful. And I think Zadia is the one that likes to lie a lot. Especially in the beginning of a relationship. And I think the two are clashing. I think the truth telling of Cam is clashing with Zadia, who Zadia is actually the person who puts on and lies in the beginning of relationships. And she's not seeing what he's saying. But she said she likes the fact that whenever she's voiced concerns to Cam, he shows up. He stands up for her. She says she likes the fact that he's been transparent. She's saying she likes it, but she doesn't really like it because he has been transparent. He's really been very truthful with her the whole time. And she says she likes it, but she doesn't like it. She wants to lie. Deep down, Zadia wants to lie. And like I said last episode, Zadia is a boundaries pusher. Zadia likes to push through people's boundaries, and she likes to put you where she wants you. She likes to cajole you. And we're going to talk about it later on the reunion part, because she does it with Shareese when she talks about, I've come to Shareese many a times. Why are you coming to Shareese? If someone has told you they really don't want you that much in their space, why do you keep coming in their space? Because what you like to do is you like to ignore what people tell you, and you like to still push through. You don't listen. You want to do what you want to do. That's why Zadia keeps saying that she's a giver. And I told you before that Zadia is a giver because what she wants to do is she wants to intrude into the space because she really wants to extract and she wants to control. There's nothing about Zadia that's a giver. Not one thing. She doesn't handle anyone like a giver, because if she was a giver, she would respect the boundaries of Cam, but she doesn't respect his boundaries. What she does is she constantly tries to get him to loosen his boundaries. So when Zadia said that she's scared to go into this moment because she's so confused, she's confused because now she's confused with probably the sex part she's been having with Cam. She knows how she feels when she's with Cam. She knows the words and how Cam feels about her when they're together intimately. But she's confused because Cam is still holding his boundary in this other area. She's confused. She's confused with the sex, but yet he's holding the boundaries. And that's what she's trying to get him to change. She keeps thinking she's going to get him to change his boundaries. And through this whole season, he has not wavered on his boundary. He has not wavered one bit. And I do still believe that Cam likes the company of Zadia. I still believe Cam likes Zadia, because he even says it. Even when she says, okay, I'm going to keep you around, he is relieved. I don't think Cam is lying when he says he was relieved. That when he says things like, we've been through so much and I wouldn't just want to end it here this way. I wouldn't want this to end with nothing. I believe Cam. I don't think Cam has been truthful this whole time. And in this moment now, he's lying, trying to pretend like he still wants to get to know Zadia. No, I think he is truthful to his core. And I think what he's been saying is, I do want to get to still know you, but I want to get to know you at a slower pace. That's what he's been saying. It isn't that I don't want to deal with you at all. What he's been saying is, I do want to still get to know you. I like things about you. I still want to learn about you, but I want to do all this at a slower pace. I don't think he's lying that he doesn't want to still get to know Zadia. I just think his boundary is, I'm not willing to do it at the pace you want me to, Zadia. That's two different things. He even complimented her and said, you know what? I've seen some growth in you, Zadia, some growth in your openness. Because what he's saying is that when she first started off, she was rigid. She was talking about what she not going to do. She not going to settle. She not going to do this. And what he said was, you know what? That's not going to work with me. You're going to have to be open. You're going to have to be willing to compromise. You're going to have to be willing to do something else. And if you're not willing to do that, you and I are not going to work, because what Cam knows is there's something that I'm not going to compromise on. He's saying he's not going to compromise on some things, and Zadia's not going to be able to use her body and her feminine wiles to get him to move off of some things. I think when after she's told him, yeah, I'm going to keep you, and maybe you got to come to DC and kind of see what my stomping grounds look like. He'll visit, but he ain't moving, Zadia. He'll visit, but he's not moving there. Okay, what he's got going on, I don't think he's going to want to do it in DC. The stuff he talking about he's doing, I don't think he's going to want to do it in DC. Cam was trying to be truthful to Zadia because he don't want to let her down. He'd rather under-promise and over-deliver than to over-promise and under-deliver. But Zadia don't really appreciate that with no one. Zadia doesn't really appreciate or respect you when people tell her, this is my boundary. She doesn't. She doesn't. What Zadia would rather you do is lie to her, because it's the same thing she does to people. She lies to people. Zadia lies to people. She tries to say one thing, but she's really doing another thing. And she wants you to lie to her too, because in the end, what Zadia wants is Zadia wants what she wants. But she says she's willing to move forward. She says she's willing to go back and see where this leads them, because they both want to see how far it can go. This is no different than what Zadia did to Naeem at the end of Ready to Love. It's no different. Zadia hasn't changed. At the end of Ready to Love, if y'all remember, Zadia all of a sudden completely flipped over to Naeem. And I think they dated for a minute. I don't know how long. But a lot of that I felt was like Zadia was just trying to prove that she won. She won something. She didn't walk away by herself. Because she was walking away by herself at Ready to Love, but she came back on that reunion talking about, see, we together, see, we together, see, we're a couple. She made that man dress up and wear the same color she had on. She controlled him, just like she's trying to do with Cam. She controlled him. That's what she did because she wanted to win. Zadia says she's an ex-athlete. Zadia gives so Zadia can win and control you and tell you what to do. And in this moment, I can't help but to feel like Zadia is saying she wants to continue with Cam. It's not because she's really open to what Cam is saying. She's not really open to Cam's boundaries. She doesn't want Cam's boundaries, not one bit. She don't want them. But what she doesn't want to do is she doesn't want to walk away from this process a loser. That's what she doesn't want to do. She doesn't want to walk away from this process a loser. So what she did was she said yes to Cam so she can look like she's not a loser. But she's going to do to Cam exactly what happened to Naeem. And it's probably going to end even sooner because Cam ain't even in the same city as her. At least Naeem was in the city of her. And she's going to try to pretend like they still friends or still dating for a couple of months. And then in the end, she's going to say that she don't want to settle and what Cam is offering her wasn't enough. And then Zadia's going to go on her own way. And she's going to go back to trying to find a man that where she doesn't have to settle. And she's going to keep looking for a man to give her everything that she wants. This is all just an act so she doesn't feel like she's a loser. She shouldn't have said yes to Cam. She shouldn't have said yes to Cam because she already knows that she's not going to be able to change the mind of Cam. So she should have just cut it loose and gone off the way. And Cam knows he ain't budging from where he is either. Cam is not budging. Not one bit. Cam is stuck in his ways just as much. He wear that same old diamond chain and he wear that same towel hanging out the back of his pocket. He has been consistent. He has been consistent in that chain. He has been consistent with that towel hanging out his back pocket. And he has been consistent in his message to Zadia. And that message has been, I like you, Zadia. I like spending time with you, Zadia. I'm willing to get to know you more, Zadia, but not at the pace you want to go at. It's been the same old message over and over and over again. And Zadia said, I don't like the boundary you're setting for me, and I'm going to just keep trying to push through your boundary. So here we are. Here we have Zadia saying yes in another attempt to continue to push through the boundary that Cam has set. It ain't going to go nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. And last but not least, we got to go and talk about Ashley. And everybody over here telling Ashley, choose yourself, choose yourself. You know, last time you chose everyone else. When? I need some proof. I need people to point to me in this whole entire season when Ashley has not chosen herself. Ashley's always chosen herself. Don't listen to what Ashley's been telling you and not choosing herself. When has Ashley not chosen herself? Because Kirsten never wanted Ashley. Ashley wanted Kirsten. So when Ashley kept Kirsten around, she was choosing herself. See, Ashley will tell you, I chose Kirsten, I chose him. That means I was doing something for him. No, you were doing it for yourself. Because what I told you about Ashley is Ashley has very high self-esteem, not low self-esteem. I said that in my last video. And what Ashley believes is Ashley believes she more deserves the man like Kirsten. Ashley has this high esteem of herself, who she is. And what she feels is, I more deserve a man like Kirsten. Whatever she believes Kirsten is, that's who she believes she deserves. And as a result, that's why she looks down on Don. She looks down on him. She looks down on Don as if Don is not good enough for her. So Don shows up in his suit, I guess after she berated him and talked about the way he dressed and what he wore. He decided to show up on this day in a nice royal blue suit so he can look good for Ashley. So once again, he dressed for Ashley. That's good. He dressed for Ashley. But what did Ashley say to him? What you like? You like what I got on? And he said, yeah, you look sherbety. You look like some sherbet ice cream. Woo, that was funny. Ashley said that she loves Don's patience for her. She loves the fact that Don sees her. Woo, Ashley loves the attention too. She says she loves the fact that he's patient and that he sees her. And then he says, but you hard to work with. What? I thought you said he was patient and he sees you. How is he hard to work with? Because he's hard to mold and change into what Ashley wants. Because that's all Ashley been doing all season long, trying to mold Don to be what she wants. And she said, it's hard to work with you because you trying to be who you are, and I want you to be who I want you to be. Like I said, I want you to match my energy. And then she goes on this rant talking about, I need a man who's going to take charge. Here go a woman asking for the wrong thing again, asking for the wrong thing. Ashley likes to be in charge. Ashley really don't need a man who likes to take charge. Ashley needs a man who actually is going to follow her. That's what she really needs, because a man who wants to take charge, he and Ashley going to have a lot of fights because Ashley likes to take charge. But what Ashley wants to do is she needs a man who's going to be tougher than her, because what Ashley knows is she runs over people. Ashley really does know how strong her personality is. And so what she believes is she needs a man stronger than her, because a man being stronger than her, he will be able to put her in her place, because Ashley don't want to change. Ashley is actually the one that needs to change. She wants all this strong male dominance. And then when that man is real dominant, you know what Ashley's going to do? Ashley's going to say that she's a victim. That's what she's going to say. But she told this man in her face again that I need a strong leader. What else did she say? A man that's going to take charge. Ashley been bossing this man around the whole time, but she said she want a man that's a leader. She walk around telling this man he be putting his head down and tucking his tail behind her neck. But she believes this is the way you make a man become a leader in your life, by putting him down and telling him stuff like this. Ashley is a whole mess. Ashley says what she don't like about Don is it takes him too long to get his words together. You just said that he was patient. You just said that he listens to you. And now you said it takes him too long to get his words together, because what Ashley wants is Ashley wants a man that can pop off like her. She wants a man that speaks without thinking about his words, because that's what Ashley does. Ashley pops off. Ashley wants her clone. She wants a man to look like her, dress like her, speak like her, be strong and assertive like her. She wants her clone because Ashley thinks so highly of herself. She thinks she's such a great person. She thinks she's got it all right. And what she wants is she wants a man just like her. And what she's saying is, I'm not going to settle for nothing less than a man just like me. And what she needs to do is she needs to take a page out of Shareese's book, and she needs a man who's going to balance her out. That's what she needs. She needs a man that's going to balance her out, because Ashley is way team too much. Way team too much. Instead of looking for a man that wants the spotlight for her, instead of looking for a man who wants to be the center of attraction, she needs to be comfortable with a man who's willing to have the back seat to her, because Ashley likes all the attention. She likes all the drama. She likes to have the last word. She likes to talk the loudest. She likes to scream the loudest. She likes to be number one. Why do you want a man that also wants to be number one? Nah, sis, you need a man like Donald who's willing to take a back seat to you, because that's who Donald is. Donald's willing to take a back seat to Ashley, but Ashley is steadily trying to encourage Don to be in the number one position. She don't really want him in the number one position because she want to be there, but that's what she's talking about. The very man Ashley's saying she want is not the man she needs. It is not the man that she needs. But Ashley said they're going to build on it. They're going to walk away together hand in hand. She ain't moving to New Orleans. But she said this whole process has unlocked a whole new Ashley, and she's ready for it. She said, we're going to keep getting to know each other, and we're going to do some traveling. There you go. The only thing she using Donald for is for a travel buddy. Somebody she can go on vacation with, pose in a bikini, do some Instagram shots, and talk about her man. She don't really want Don. Don is a prop. Don is a side piece. Don is a prop to go on vacation with. That's what Ashley wants him for. That's what she need to reconcile that. She needs a man that's going to do that. Take her pictures wherever she goes, not want to be the center of attraction, take a back seat to her, travel wherever she wants to travel, let her be the leader. She needs to stop acting as if she wants a man like Kirsten. She don't want no man like Kirsten who's going to stand up to her and not bow down to her. We see that on the reunion coming up. She probably going to disrespect Don on the reunion. I bet she's going to give Kirsten so much attention on the reunion. she gonna disrespect Don. Let's wait for it. Let's wait for it. I bet you she gonna start crying over Kirsten when he started talking bad about her. And Don's probably gonna feel like, dang, what am I, chopped liver? You over here crying over a man that didn't even want you, but I chose you and you gonna treat me like chopped liver. Wait for it. I believe that's what's gonna happen on the reunion. I hope I'm wrong. I do, but that's what I believe. But now we're gonna move over to the second part. This is gonna be the part where, I'm gonna split this up. So if y'all didn't want to listen to the whole thing at once, this is gonna be part 2. But I'm gonna combine it in one video because I don't know how much time I'm gonna have tomorrow to do another video. But I'm gonna talk about it now, and I'm gonna say that everybody came on here looking good, looking good. The ladies had on their finest attire. They had on their ball gowns coming in. And they asked Shareese, what was the best part of having a matchmaker on this show? And you know what Shareese said? Shareese said she liked being able to go out on 1 or 2 dates every single week. And I would encourage women, talk about New Year's resolutions. I said a little bit on the first half. Maybe you ought to make that a New Year's resolution because women have the ability to date just like these women did. But let me tell you what's holding people back from being able to date like this is that most women are saying no to the dates. And on this show, they had to say yes. They had to go on them. Women can have multiple dates, but what some women do, they have such rigid criteria. Such, I'm not settling. I'm not doing this. I'm not going out with a man with children. I'm not going out with a man who's divorced. I'm not going out with a man who's under 6 feet tall. I'm not doing this. What they do is they eliminate all these dates. And that's why they only going out on a date every 6 months. People can actually date just like they did on Make a Move. You can, just like these women did, go out with men in your own hometown. Don't make the criteria for a date so rigid and stringent. What's wrong with having a cup of coffee with someone? It doesn't mean that you got to sleep with them. You can date 2 and 3 men at one time. You don't need to sleep with them. Tell that man, hey, I want to date you. I want to get to know you. We ain't got to go out on fancy dates, but I do want to spend some time getting to know you. So if you want to still date other women and sleep with them other women, go ahead and do it. I'm not going to cut you off from all that pootie tang you getting over here just because I'm going to have a cup of coffee with you. We can have a cup of coffee. We can go on casual walks at the park. We can have a picnic, a date. And I don't have to feel no pressure to sleep with you. If you need your itch scratched, keep scratching it with Ruby over there, whatever her name, Lola, whatever her name is going to be. Women, learn how to date multiple men, but without sleeping with them. You can do exactly what these people on Ready to Love did, Make a Move did. You can date multiple men. Just don't be trying to spend all their money. Just don't be trying to go out on $300 dates. Really spend time getting to know them, and you can have more dates. And you don't need to have the pressure of sleeping with them. Every woman should date just like they did on Ready to Love. You should be dating multiple people at a time. But don't be trying to take men for their money and then that man start thinking, well, if I'm going to be spending $200 on you for a date, you're going to need to sleep with me. I'm going to need more from you. Nah. Spend your time just getting to know them. Vernisha said it was easier than Ready to Love. I think it was because you know what these women didn't have? They didn't have competition with each other. Ready to Love is all about competing with the other women. On this show, these women got their own men until Vernisha was trying to steal Lizelle. Until she was trying to change the premise of the whole dating show. But for the most part, these women had their own men. So they really didn't need to compete with each other. They really should have been able to get along. But then this is when Shareese started lying. But you know what? I'm going to give Shareese a break because Shareese was lying because she really was trying to be a new person. You know Maurice coached her. You know Maurice said, hey, baby, when you get on this reunion, keep your calm, keep your cool. Keep your calm, keep your cool. Don't let these ladies get to you. Keep a pleasant smile on your face. And when Shareese walked in her little pretty white dress, she started off real good. And she started off with her lie. And she said, yeah, well, this was a really it was a difficult process because I'm not used to living with women. But these ladies made it very easy to get along with. I was like, girl, Shareese, you lying. But I'm for the lie. I'm for the lie because it's positive thinking. It's positive thinking, Shareese. Let's go with it. Let's go with it. Everybody else, I'm saying, everybody leave Shareese alone with her lie. Don't comfort her. Let her keep her lie, because then there won't be no problem. But then we go over here and we look at Zadia. Zadia already rolling her eyes, because you know what Zadia is already plotting? Zadia is already plotting how I'm going to bust through that boundary Shareese just did. Shareese came in and set the tone and said it was a wonderful experience because we all were here and the ladies made it easy to get along with. We all know it was a lie. And who's going to be the one that comes along and tries to bust through that boundary and that little moment that Shareese set up? Zadia. You know she is, because that's what Zadia likes to do. Zadia is a disruptor. I keep saying she likes to go through boundaries. She's a disruptor. Some people call it a bully. She is a disruptor. And the funny thing is, Zadia can sure throw a punch, but she can't take one. Zadia can throw a punch, but she can't take it. The minute Shareese bites back at Zadia, Zadia pulls the bully card, and now she's the victim. You're not the victim, Zadia, when you climb over the fence and you start poking the dog. Shareese just said, I'm sitting over here on the porch all by myself. This is where I'm going to sit. Don't nobody come over the fence. Don't no one bother me. I'm trying to be a different person. I'm going to sit over here. Zadia sees the dog sitting on the porch over the fence. Zadia climbs over the fence, walks up to the dog, and starts poking the dog. And then you know what that dog does? That dog bites the head off of Zadia. Shareese says, I really don't want to talk about it. She told Tamica and Tamica, both Tamicas, I really don't want to talk about it. And the next thing that happens is we hear Zadia saying, well, yeah, I want to talk about it. I want to talk about how you're a bully. See? She over the fence in the yard. She's over the fence in the yard because now she wants to talk about how Shareese bullied her the whole time. In one breath, Zadia said Shareese would pick her out of the crowd. Of all the three ladies, Shareese would go over and pick her out of the crowd and bully her. But then the other breath, Zadia says, I tried to talk to Shareese many of times. That's the real truth. I don't believe that Shareese goes over and tries to pick Zadia out of the crowd and talk about her. Nope, I don't believe it. I think what Shareese does is Shareese responds to Zadia. Because here's Zadia talking about, I try to talk to Shareese all the time. There you go. You're crossing boundaries. When no one doesn't want to be bothered with you, when no one wants to be talking to you, be in a conversation with you, why do you continually try to talk to them? That is what I keep talking about with Zadia. She keeps calling herself the giver. Here is another situation where Zadia is framing herself as the giver. I'm trying to talk to you. She don't want to be talked to, Zadia. You're not a giver when you're trying to give a gift to a person who doesn't want it. Hear me very, very well, Zadia. It is not a gift. If I tell you I don't want this cup, if I say, no, that's okay, I don't want the cup, but you keep shoving the cup in my face, you're not a giver. What you're doing now is you're not respecting my boundaries. That's completely different. But then Zadia wants to go around and shove the cup in my face, and then when I slap that damn cup out her hand, she wants to call me a bully. Nah, Zadia, you don't get to have it both ways. You don't get to disrespect people's boundaries, walk over their boundaries, and then when they respond to you, call them the bully. And then Zadia talking about I was blindsided by all this house rules. How were you blindsided? When the subject came up about house rules, all Shareese did was tell you I'm not for house rules. Why is it blindsiding you? It's blindsiding it because she said she told it to Tamica. That's how she felt blindsided. So what she wanted Shareese to do was she wanted Shareese to lie, because that's what Zadia is comfortable with. Zadia is comfortable with lying, and what she wants other people to do is to lie too. So the reason why she was mad at Shareese was not because Shareese had rules about having company over. She was mad that Shareese said it in front of Tamica, but instead of Zadia admitting that, she lies and she starts saying, oh, well, you're bullying me. You blindsided me. That's not blindsiding you, that when somebody asks me a question and I respond to the question. Nah, what she's upset about is she's upset about that her business was put out in the street. And she finally did admit that. That's what she's upset about. But then again, what you want me to do is you want me to lie for you. That's not my job to lie for you, Zadia. Just because you're comfortable with telling a bunch of lies doesn't mean I am. Zadia wants everybody to lie to her. She wants Cam to lie to her, and she wants Shareese to lie to her, and she wants everybody to lie for her. Lie to her and lie for her. Finally, Tamica had to pin her down and say, yeah, Zadia, why did you lie? Why did you lie? Oh, because I'm a grown woman. That's not the question. That's not the question. Just because you're a grown woman doesn't mean you have to lie. And then she said, well, I'm a grown woman. I can do what I want. Exactly. So if you're a grown woman, then there should be no reason why you can't say what you did. And as they say out here in the world, stand on your business and say what you did. Because like I said, Zadia likes to lie. Zadia likes to lie to other people, and she likes to lie to herself. That's why she's running around here talking about how much of a giver she is. She ain't no giver. In the end, she finally admits she was out with Cam all night long, talking about all they did was sit and talk. I don't believe that either. She looks stupid. She looks ridiculous. She doesn't even get any, she can't even really get no real respect out here because she's so busy trying to make the fight be about Shareese when the real fight is about Zadia, you a liar. That's what the real fight is. Not only are you a liar, you're continuing to lie. And instead what you're doing now is you're trying to make the focus of the problem be Shareese. Stop climbing over fences and playing with dogs that bite. Shareese bites. I wouldn't even climb over no fence and get no ring with Shareese. I looked at that sign that says beware of the dog, and you know what I do? I don't get in that yard. But not Zadia. Zadia like to climb over that fence and get in the ring with Shareese. And let me tell you, Shareese knows how to bite off the head of people. Shareese tried to come in here and take it to another level. She did. She did, but Zadia you can't play nice with Zadia because Zadia is a boundaries pusher. Even they were getting on Shareese about supposedly kissing LJ. You know, next thing you know, Zadia can say, well, I don't kiss my friends. There you go, poking the bear again. Poking the bear. Why can't you just be quiet? And then you know what Shareese says? Well, guess what? I don't sleep with my friends. I'm sorry to say it, but in this episode, in this whole exchange, I was team Shareese because Shareese really was trying to elevate. She was trying to stay above the fray, but we all know Shareese got anger management problems. I know she still got anger management problems, but this time she did attempt it. She failed. She failed in the end. She wasn't able to keep her cool. She got in the ring with these ladies, but I'm going to tell Shareese what she needs to do. Shareese also needs to learn how to elevate and stay away from women like Zadia and even Ashley. She needs to learn how to stay away from them. She needs to get some anger management classes, like I said before. But in that process, she needs to learn how to stay away from it because Shareese cannot hold it together. And Zadia knows it. Zadia knows that she only's got to poke this woman once or two times and she's going to burst. Shareese doesn't have enough stamina to be able to withstand how to handle people like Zadia and Ashley. She doesn't know how to do it. She really doesn't know how to do it. It's sad to see because at her age, she should be able to handle this a whole lot better, but she can't. But I did see an attempt for her to try. At least she tried coming in. And then Zadia said over here when she was talking about the whole LJ thing, when she was talking to Shareese, and she just kept saying, you know what, I was trying to be a jokester. It was a joke. I said it all in jest. Girl, that's a lie too. Zadia is real comfortable with lying. She said, I said it all in jest. I'm just a jokester. Some people don't get my jokes. First of all, you're not a jokester. You're not funny. And third of all, everybody would know the last person you joke with is Shareese. Zadia, I don't know. Zadia is a liar. And I'm telling you, sometimes she acts dumb. Both. But I really do believe Zadia just likes to do what she wants to do. I don't think that she's a dumb woman. I think Zadia knows what's going on, but she doesn't give a damn about what other people want. She doesn't care about what Cam wants. She doesn't care what Shareese wants. She just wants to do what she wants to do. That's why I say she's not a giver, because she actually doesn't take into consideration anyone else's feelings. She just does what she wants to do. Tamica and Tamica, the two hosts, try to say that Shareese and Zadia are a lot alike. I don't think that they are. I don't think they're alike. You may think they're alike at the end when you see them going here like cats and dogs, but they're not alike in the way and how things start. And that's what I said. Sometimes you can think you're like a person because maybe you're in the same place at the same time. Here's Zadia and Shareese going back and forth, but they're really not the same people. Zadia is an instigator. Zadia is an instigator. Shareese is not an instigator. But what Shareese will do is Shareese will join the fight and she will beat you down. But Shareese is actually not an instigator. But Zadia is an instigator. Those are two different things. So when you finally see them fighting, it's not because they both are instigators. I don't think that Shareese is much of an instigator. But Zadia is absolutely an instigator. Even when Shareese started saying she felt that she was left out. Well, first of all, Shareese was left out a lot of stuff. And she chose to be left out. And she said, I'm okay with that. Shareese chose not to do the psychic things. There's a lot of things Shareese drew boundaries on that she didn't want to participate in, which is fine. So in one way, she said she was left out, but at least she said that's okay. But in being left out is different from also excusing yourself. And it was okay for her to excuse herself from being part of the psychic, but don't use the word left out because it's not the same thing. If you're going to have boundaries and you're going to choose not to participate with people, you're going to choose because it's not your thing, then stand on that. Say, I chose not to participate, but don't in the same breath then say you were left out. No, those are two different things. Not being invited is different from being invited and say, no, I'm going to decline. Those are two different things. And I think when she said that she was not left out, I think that's what got Ashley and Vernisha riled up. But here's the thing about Vernisha and Ashley. I don't think Vernisha and Ashley liked Shareese anyway. Because the minute Shareese said that, Vernisha and Ashley went from 0 to a 100. That told me that they already had some stuff built up about Shareese. They just had never said it. I think Shareese knew that these girls really didn't like her, even Vernisha and Ashley. And I think Vernisha and Ashley were faking it. I think they were faking it. I don't think they really liked Shareese. And what Shareese was pinpointing was, these ladies really didn't like me. And then when she said it out loud, that's when the pit bull of Vernisha and Ashley came out. Because when Shareese called the ladies and said, see right here, see how you gave Zadia grace, but you didn't give me any? She was absolutely right, because I saw it. Because what I saw was that they didn't agree with what Shareese said. I get that part. I get that part. They didn't agree with what she said. But the way they attacked her when they didn't agree is completely different from with Zadia. Because you have Vernisha and Ashley say, well, there was things I didn't agree with Zadia either. I didn't like what Zadia did. Well, you didn't attack Zadia that way, though. You might have disagreed with Zadia, but you didn't handle Zadia the way you just handled Shareese. And that's why I agree with Shareese, that the way they handled when they disagreed with Shareese is different from the way they handled Zadia when they disagreed with Zadia. There was a difference, and I actually agree with Shareese on that. And then when Ashley started going off, talking about, girl, you need to check yourself, and Shareese kept saying, don't talk to me that way, don't talk to me that way. And Ashley said, yeah, you need to check yourself, and maybe that's what friends need to do every once in a while, check you. No, that's not what friends do. I got friends I've been with for 20, 30 years. And let me tell you, no friend would ever check me the way you trying to check me right now, Ashley. Ashley believes that her form of communication is good. It's the same way she checks Don and everybody else. It's not good. Ashley wouldn't be no friend of mine, because would no friend of mine talk to me the way Ashley just talked to Shareese? Absolutely not. And Ashley started talking about Shareese is being rude. No, Ashley was being rude. And then Ashley started talking about maybe you ought to have a little bit more class. Ashley's one of the most classless ladies on this whole season. What is she talking about? She's the last person that needs to be given lessons in class. You got to be kidding me. She started telling her sometimes a friend needs to check you and I'm going to talk to you any kind of way I want to talk to you. Ashley got a problem. Ashley has a real big problem. And Ashley wants me to believe she really likes Shareese. No, you didn't like Shareese, because there's no way you could have really liked Shareese and then be here right now talking to her this way. You were faking it. You were trying to pretend like you like Shareese, because in this moment right now, the way Ashley is talking to Shareese, that is not the way you talk to a person who you actually really like. She does not like Shareese, and Shareese picked up on that. And when Shareese said it, they all got mad at her and attacked her, but the truth is the truth. They didn't like Shareese, and that's fine if they don't like Shareese. They could not like the Shareese because of the way the things Shareese says and she does. I'm okay with that, but don't sit here and try to lie. Don't sit here and try to lie and act like you all sisters and you like Shareese like a sister and all this venom starts coming out your mouth. That's not the truth. And when Shareese got up and started screaming and yelling, talking about she needs a breather, she needs to walk away, and Ashley talking about bye, you do need a breather. I was like, dang, Ashley, what is this, Ashley? Ashley, the one that likes to get flowers. Ashley, the giver. Ashley, the one that's so nice to everybody. Shoot, her mask is pulled all the way off in this whole season long. Anyway, that's it, y'all. I know I talked a long time. Hopefully you stayed through the whole thing. If not, maybe you can watch it through parts. But I will see you next week for Reunion, a part 2, where the men are going to join us and we get to see where everyone is now. What do you predict? You predict any of these people are still seeing each other? I'll suspect that Zadia is still going to be putting on like she and Cam are talking to each other because she's going to want to save face. Because, you know, Zadia loves a public image. I also believe that Maurice and Shareese really are going to still be talking to each other. I don't believe that Ashley and Don are going to be doing much. And, of course, Vernicia's still going to be alone. That's what I predict. But we'll see you guys next week. Talk to you later. Bye.